So a little update from last week. Of course, you've heard by now that the Board of Public Works approved the 5-year contract renewal with FilmLA. There was no surprise there. We learned that everyone on the board actually was new. And the president was younger than me. He'd only been there 2 months, so they didn't really have any context to our cause. But they were listening. They made it very clear that they were not adding amendments or changing anything. They were only voting to either renew or not renew the contract. Fellow location managers, producers, hairstylists, and various crew members showed up to give their support either for or against the bill. And many people from the industry spoke out with suggestions, myself included.
Something has to change. It's not, the worst thing you can do is just rubber stamp this for 5 more years and find it hard to believe that it's either 5 years of the same or utter chaos. Let's figure it out. Guess what? I have no idea.
The hearing should have happened a year ago, according to Councilman Nazarian, who was there and spoke for the renewal, because everyone was basically fearful that if they did not renew it, there'd be no permits at all in the city of LA, which is insane. That's like saying if Nike doesn't make shoes, no one's going to have any shoes. Everyone's going to be walking around barefoot. So it was basically a big game of charades at City Hall last week. Permits through FilmLA bring in approximately $14 million a year, okay? You think we're going to just not figure it out if it's not renewed? Meanwhile, we could have went to Long Beach, Ventura, LA County neighborhoods, and we could have filmed in Santa Clarita, West Hollywood, Pasadena. There's a lot of places that aren't in FilmLA's territory that weren't going to lapse if it was not renewed. But they basically did a bunch of fear-mongering to scare people into thinking that, oh my God, you think it's bad now, wait till you don't renew the contract, then no one's going to ever have a permit ever, which is crazy. There was definitely many other options that could have been discussed, but they weren't talked about publicly. They're talked about behind closed doors. Basically, FilmLA has a monopoly on permits in the city of Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the CEO, Paul Audley, who was there, he makes about $400,000 to $500,000 a year, and his salary was actually raised last year during the strikes. Something smells fishy. They want that money. By the way, word on the street is that it's actually the LAPD that needs an adjustment because they approve a lot of things through FilmLA, but that's another video. That's Hollywood, baby.